Hey everybody. We're going to make this as quick as we can today. So the first thing I would like you to do is log into your math classroom, go into classwork, and you are going to click on the assignment that says 6-02 Digital Quick Check. This is going to be over multiples. So you can pause this video, and then when you're ready, you can follow along with me. This is out of 5 points again, so this is a grade. This is not completion. Question 1 says, what is the least common multiple of 8 and 12? So you're making a list, multiples of 8, 16, 24, and so forth. You're making a list, multiples of 12, and you're looking for the first one in common. Number 2, the different kinds of beads Casey is using to make purses comes in packages of 3 and 9. What is the least number of each kind of bead Casey can buy to have an equal number of each of the different kinds of beads? So a lot of words there, but it says what is the least number, which should give it away. That means we're doing the least common multiple for 3 and 9. And you're going to find that in the list. After you make a list, you're allowed to use your whiteboards to show work, and you are allowed to use calculators. Okay, number 3, every problem in these are the same. They're all least common multiple. This is the every and the again words. Rami has swimming lessons every 3 days and guitar lessons every 7. If he has both lessons the first day of the month, when will he have both lessons on the same day again? Again, every, both. We're talking about common multiples. So you're going to make a list, common multiples of 3 and 7. You're looking for the lowest one. Alrighty, so as we head in here for number, I believe this is 4, what is the least common multiple of 4 and 9? It literally tells you what to do. And then question 5, hot dogs come in packs of 10, hot dog buns come in packs of 8. How many hot dogs and hot dog buns will Mr. Deeks buy? So he has 1 bun for every hot dog. A little trickier with the wording for this one, but it's the same concept. What you guys are going to be doing is finding the least common multiple, okay? So my suggestion is you pause my video, you complete your assignment, and then you come back for the rest of the assignment, which I'm going to go through here momentarily. Do great. Okay, you're back. I hope you liked your score. It was out of 5 points. Everything was least common multiple. If you need help, please let me know. There's no test in the foreseeable future, but there will be a point when we do go over that. Okay, today we're going to talk about equal fractions. This is a review lesson. With everything with COVID, we're going to do quite a few of these in the next few weeks just to make sure everybody's good. So if you look at this picture here, 1/2, 2/4, and 4/8 all take up the same amount of space. We talked last week about numerators and denominators. All right. Actually, we talked on Monday a little bit about numerator and denominator. And you can see 1/2, 2/4, and 4/8 all take up the same amount of space on the fraction strip that's there. It's all the same as they line up. In this picture here, we have a little bit different. 1/2, 2/4, 3/6, and 4/8 are all equal. They're all equal to 1/2 in lowest terms. And I want you to take a minute and pause the video and really look at this. 1/3, 3/9, 1/4, 3/12, 2/3, 8/12, 3/4, 9/12, 1/2, 5/10. This is an example of 5 different equivalent fractions. Same value, different numbers. If you get $1/3 of $1,000,000 or 3/9 of $1,000,000, you're getting the same amount. If you get 2/3 of a pizza or 8/12 of the pizza, notice you're getting the same amount. So please pause the video and look over this. Okay, we are back now. So what we're going to do is grab your board marker and again, pause the video if you need to. We're going to work through some of these together here. Okay, so it says find a fraction equal to each of the following. So let's start with this one. Let's start with a fraction that is, hang on, waiting for my pen to come on. I would like you guys to give me a fraction that is equal to 1/5. Now, if some of you are like, I don't have a clue how to do this, mystery, I'm going to show you. If you multiply your numerator and denominator by the same number, you will always get equivalent fractions. It doesn't matter what number you multiply them by, as long as you multiply them by the same number. I could pick 7. These are all equivalent. There's an infinite number of equivalent fractions. I want to show you why, though. Think for a second, if I make 2/2 into a fraction, what is 2/2 equal? You're right, it equals 1 whole. I'm going to draw that little 1 there. What does anything multiplied by 1 give you? Itself. Anything times 1 is itself. So basically, you're taking 1/5 and you're multiplying it by itself. Equivalent fractions, same value, different numbers, but they're equal. So if you look at the 3/3, it's like multiplying by 1 whole. The 7/7, I know how sloppy this is, but it's still like multiplying by 1 whole. Anything multiplied by 1 equals itself. Okay, so let's practice this for a little bit. You give me a fraction that's equal to 2/9. Okay, here's an example of one that would work. Because multiplying by the numerator and denominator being the same number is like multiplying by 1. I'm not going to keep drawing the ones because they get kind of annoying and tough to draw. But as long as you pick a number that's the same for both, they will always be equivalent. So that's one way to find equivalent fractions. Let's take this a step further and see if you can do this one. So find 3 fractions equal to 2/5. Okay, pause the video as you try this. All right, unpause now. And it doesn't matter what you multiplied by. One answer that probably some of you had was 4/10. Another answer that probably some of you had was 6/15. Another answer that some of you might have had could have been even 200 500ths, because if we multiply the numerator and denominator by the same number, we get itself because it's like multiplying by 1. All right, so cool. It works like this with reducing. Here's where the GCF comes in. If I have a fraction like 4/12, now I could multiply them to find equivalent fractions, but I could also divide them. What would be the GCF of 4 and 12? In other words, what's the biggest number that goes into 4 that also goes into 12? You're right, it would be 4. And if I do that, I get 1/3. But I want to show you something else here with division. Let's say you thought you should have divided by 2. You get 2/6, and you can still reduce that to equal 1/3. It doesn't matter if you always pick the GCF, as long as you pick a common factor, because a common factor is like a common divisor. So let's work on some reducing here. You guys should have your whiteboards out. If I had 5/25, what would be a number that I could divide by both? Your 5th grade teachers taught you you should write what you're dividing by, and if you thought 5, you are right. Okay, let's try a little bit of a harder one here. What could you reduce 18/36 down to? What could you divide by? So I'm guessing some of you are thinking 9. And if you do that, you get 2/4, which you can still break down and get 1/2. Now, if you were thinking, couldn't you have started with something bigger? Sure. If you have 18/36 and you understand the GCF, you could have done this, but I really do want you to show what you're dividing by. I know it's a pain, but you guys can handle it. All right, if you had something really big, and I'm not going to do crazy big here, but let's say we had 32/48, and you have absolutely no clue how to get started. And so you just start dividing by 2, and you get 16/24, and then you divide by 2, and you get 8/12, and then you divide by 2, and you get 4/6. And then you divide by 2, and you get 2/3, and that's your answer. Or, if you're really good with mental math and you divide both of them by 16, and you get 2/3, it's the same answer. This way up here is like crawling to Columbus. This way down here is like taking a Lamborghini to Columbus. This gets you there faster, but both ways still get you there. I'm not going to be picky on how you reduce. Okay, so here's what I would like you guys to do. There is a worksheet that I gave you earlier in the week with two sides. I think this side is a little easier. I think this side is a little bit harder, not much. The harder side is shorter though, there's less problems. The easier side's longer, but there's more problems. The only thing I want to make sure that you do is I want to see what you're dividing by. Like you're dividing both by 5, you get 1/4. I think your 5th grade teachers made you do this last year. You might need a calculator to help you with the reducing. Remember how we checked factors as divisors? This is your assignment. Don't do both, just do one side. You pick and bring it with you next week. All right? Have a great weekend. Thank you.